Good morning. Hello, and welcome to day 3 of the Small Business Saturday Tour. Come on in. It's lovely to see so many people joining today. Do say hello in the chat as you come on in. Maybe let us know where you're from. Always love to hear. So today we're with the wonderful Lisa Pickles from Fine with Leads, and she is going to tell us all about how you can build a winning business plan for your small business, which at this time of year, I think is such a good time to kind of get prepared and get ready for 2025. So I hope that you enjoy the session. This will be recorded, so if you do miss anything, don't worry, we'll send you a replay to your inbox on Friday and Saturday, so you can catch up with each webinar from this week's series. Thank you to BT Digital Skills for making this webinar possible and supporting the tour 2024 again. We will have some time for questions at the end, so feel free to pop your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom, and we'll run through those with Lisa at the end. That is enough from me for now, so I will hand over to you, Lisa, and see you again.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Emma. It's lovely to see you all. So yes, exactly. Today's session is entitled Build a Winning Business Plan for Small Business. So please do get involved in the chat. Let me know where you are, what you're up to. We usually have a brief chat about the weather at this point. So I'm in Nottingham. It is a little bit grey today, but then that's all par for the course. So thank you for being here. I'm really looking forward to taking you through this session. As Emma said, there will be plenty of time for questions at the end. So please do store them up and put them in the chat or put them in the Q&A section, which is at the bottom of the screen. So just a bit about me, just to start the session off. So my business is called Find Me the Leads, and I work predominantly with food and drink businesses, helping them get their products into more places and in front of more people. So I was fortunate enough, or rather my business was fortunate enough, to be named one of the Small Biz 100 in 2020. So that magical year that was 2020. And I have been working closely with Small Business Saturday and Small Business Britain ever since to champion small business. And I'm very, very proud to be part of this community and have connected with lots of wonderful other small business owners during the course of my time here. So you're in safe hands today. So the learning outcomes from today, so very simply put, there are 3 areas that I'm going to take you through. So how to develop a structured business plan, how to set clear, achievable goals, and how to prepare for growth and challenges, because as we all know, in the world of small business, there will be some. So let's get started. So when I looked at the definition of a business plan, and I don't know about you, but my experience of business plans to date, so my business was founded in 2018, has been very formal in terms of what the business plan is, what it does, and how you should set it out. So there are various definitions here. So there's reference to a document, a written document, but I think essentially what this is trying to say, and the reason why I've included this in the presentation, is because I want you to sort of get into the mindset of a business plan is very much around setting objectives for where you want to be and how you're going to get there. So yes, it says in these definitions that it is written, but it doesn't have to be. Essentially, it needs to be a document that works for you. So you are the founder of your business. You are the person driving this plan forward. You are the person that is going to be responsible for implementing it. So it's very much your plan and needs to work for you in a way that you like to learn, consume data, and actually take action. So before we start, just to outline, there are definitely 2 types of business plan. There is the one that you need to prepare in order to access funding, which is detailed here on the left-hand side of the screen. So this includes typically 7 sections, which are listed down here. And then there is the other type of plan, which is the one that we're very much going to focus on today. And this is a roadmap which takes you from where you are now to where you want to be and the steps that you need to take to get there. So one on the left is the more formal, I suppose, in the context of the definitions that you would typically have needed to prepare or need to prepare in order to access funding. The one on the right is what we're going to focus on today. So this is very much a practical session, sharing with you some areas and enablers to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. So let's get started. Simply put, a business plan takes you from where you are now to where you want your business to be. So that can be in the next 30 days, the next 60 days, the next 90 days, or in the next 12 months, however you want to put a time frame on that. But it's where you are now and where you want to get to. So before we move on, I'm just going to quickly look back onto the chat. It would be great to hear from you whether you actually have a plan currently or are planning to get one or to do one between now and the end of the year to set you up for success in 2015. So just let me know in the chat, have you got a plan? Are you planning to make a plan? Where are you at? No plan. That's good. No plan. We'll make one. Planning to do one. No, come on. That's brilliant. All in my head. Yeah, I absolutely love that. I hear you 100%. Yes. Oh, wow. Somebody's got one not only for 2025, but for 26 as well. Good on you. That's very, very good. Brilliant. So that's excellent. Thank you so much for contributing to that. It's just really good to understand where you're at in terms of your planning process. Yes, but not in depth enough. Well, your definition of in depth is entirely unique to you. So something is better than nothing. Let's get started. So in the context of making a plan for your small business that will take you from where you are now to where you want to be and enable you to win more business and grow your business, you need to structure your plan in 4 different areas. So around the people, around the products and services that you provide or would like to provide, your marketing and sales, and your finances. So I'm going to take you through each of these 4 sessions in a bit more detail so that you can have a think about the areas, the things you need to add within here to make your plan a success. So think about the people. So who do you need in your business to enable you to achieve your goal? Is it just you? Is it other people? Is it engaging with stakeholders outside of your business? What type of roles do these people occupy within your business and how do they support you? So just to give you an example, so I am a solopreneur, so I operate my business alone. However, I do very much have a bank of experts who are external to my business but support my business, in particular at times of growth when I'm not able to deliver all of the work needed myself, so I have to call on them. So when I'm planning where I am now to where I want to be, typically this time next year, I'm thinking about who do I need, so what people resource do I need to enable me to achieve that. And actually, it's really important that you do that because as you grow as a business, you are going to need other people to help you achieve that growth. So think about what your longer term people strategy looks like in the context of enabling you to grow your business and achieve your longer term goal. What are your products and services? So think about the products and services that you currently have within your business. So are they going to remain? Are you going to remove some that are potentially not working as well for you as you would like them to? Are you going to streamline your services and products so that you actually only offer a core range of products and services? So what are your products and services? And who are you going to offer them to? So this is a bit around, ideal client and customer. So think about everything that you do now within the context of your business. So if you're a service-based business, what services do you provide and who do you provide it to? If you're a product-based business, what does your product portfolio look like? Do you need to grow it? Do you need to reduce it? Do you need to focus on bestsellers? And if you're a service-based business, are you going to do more of the same, or do you need to diversify and add new services into your business to help you achieve your goal? Marketing and sales. So, how will you find new customers? So, where are you going to put yourself and your business to connect with your potential customers and clients? So, what do you do currently? Is it working for you? Can you do more of it? Do you need to refine these processes? What other ways can you connect with your ideal customers and clients? So if you think about your marketing process up here, the marketing process is the process that you implement to get your business seen by more people. Once you've got your business seen by more people, how are you going to convert those eyes into prospects, which then become customers and clients? So if your end goal is a financial one, and for most people it probably will be, you need to break that down in terms of what that looks like from a sales perspective. So how many sales do you need to get in order to help you achieve your overall goal? So the final number that you set yourself as your overall goal for the end of year target. So let's have a think about this. So from my point of view, I'm a service-based business. I have a core suite of services, some of which are lower ticket and some of which are higher ticket. In order for me to achieve my end of year goal, I know exactly how many of each of those services I need to deliver to help me achieve that goal. And then once I know that, I can start looking at, okay, well, what has my current year looked like in terms of delivering? Is it realistic for me to increase that? Do I need to go after more of the high ticket? Do I need to stop the low ticket? So really think about what you do currently and how that will help you achieve your end goal. Finances. So thinking about your end of year goal. So what do you want your turnover to look like? What do you want your profit to look like? What do you want to pay yourself as a small business owner? And what do you need to do to realize that? So is it realistic? Is it achievable? And actually, do you need to access funding and finance in order for you to achieve that number? So think about your finances in terms of what do you want the business to turn over in a year's time? What do you want your profit to be? And what do you want to pay yourself as a small business owner? You know, that's really important and actually something that you need to factor in consistently. Each month, I'm going to pay myself X amount of pounds, and that needs to be consistent. And then if there are gaps and you think that actually in order for you to really push yourself forward from a turnover perspective, you need some funding or capital to unlock that. How do you then go about accessing it? So goals. Goals are to keep you on track. It's important to set them. It's important to set them at various intervals, I think. So I track my goals on a monthly basis because I want to know I'm making progress. I want to know that I'm moving closer towards my overall goal, the ultimate goal of where I want my business to be by the end of the year. Because actually, if I'm not on track and if I need to make changes, then it's better to do that proactively rather than reactively. So I definitely am a big fan of the 30, 60, 90-day approach. And I tend to work in 90-day cycles. So I'll implement something consistently for 90 days and then review it. And if it's not working, I'll change it, modify it, do something slightly different to get me back on track. So making sure that you set the goal, which is your overall goal of where you want your business to be, but break it down into smaller goals so that you can track your progress and make sure that you're working towards where you want to be. Not so that you can feel deflated and beat yourself up, but so that you can actually revise, revisit, amend, and adapt and get yourself back on track. So this is a term which I'm sure you've all heard a zillion times when it comes to goal setting. And this is the term SMART. So your goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And this is really important because this is the how you are going to make your goal a reality. So let's have a think about what that means. So some examples of SMART goals. So think about this in terms of your social media activity. So a SMART goal looks like this: grow your Instagram followers by 25% in the next 6 months by 6 months by posting 3 times per week, using targeted hashtags and engaging daily with followers posts. So this doesn't just say grow my social media following. It's being really specific to the social media channel that you want to grow, how much you want to grow it by, in what time frame, and how you are going to do that. So the how is really important. The how is the enabler to help you achieve your goal. And there's some other examples here. So improve customer retention by 20% over the next 12 months. Customer retention is really important and really key, because actually once you gain customers, you need to be doing everything you can to keep them, because actually the cost of retaining an existing customer to you as a small business owner is far cheaper than constantly going out and acquiring new customers. So these are just some examples of SMART goals when it comes to setting your goals for your end of year target. So again, just breaking this down in terms of the various letters within the SMART goals, what that means. So as I said, Instagram. So this talks about the specific social media channel that you want to focus on. The 25% is how much you want to grow it by. So you want to grow it from 100 to 125, how long you're going to allow yourself to do it, and how you are going to do that. So this is realistic and this is achievable. So it is realistic and achievable for most people to post 3 times per week on their main social media platform of choice. And then this is the enabler. So how you are actually going to do that. You're going to do that by using targeted hashtags and engaging daily with your followers, so your potential customers and clients. I'm just nipping back to the chat to see how you are getting on in terms of SMART, etc. So is that clear? How do you feel about your SMART objectives? Thank you, Sarah. Yep, all clear. Yep. Makes sense. Good. I think just really challenge yourself whenever you think about, right, what do I need to do to get from and to, and how am I going to do it? So the SMART part is definitely the how you are going to do it. Don't be vague, because actually vague doesn't help you. Vague doesn't help you achieve, it doesn't help you track, and it doesn't motivate you to keep going. Oh yeah, time management. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's one for all of us, isn't it? Thank you. Yeah, good idea. At the moment, I'm running around trying to keep on top of everything. Yeah, that's a symptom of being a small business owner, I think. And I would encourage you really now more than anything to sort of take a bit of a step back and refocus and rethink about what your goals are going to be moving forward, because otherwise you're going to spend the next month or next year running around doing more of the same. So as we've just talked about, So in an ideal world, you've built your plan, you've broken it down into those 4 areas. So I'm really clear about where I want my business to be this time next year. I've thought about in those 4 areas what I need to do to enable me to get there. Off I go and implement it. So the plan versus reality is very, very different. So the plan is I have a starting point of A and I want to get to B. So that the starting point is where I am now, the end point is where I want to be. But the reality is you will be thrown lots of challenges, lots of curveballs. There will be times when you want to give up because it's not quite going to plan. And the reality is that you just have to foresee this happening and do what you can to prepare for that so that it doesn't stop you achieving your objectives. So preparing for and anticipating growth. Now, first and foremost, growth is a good thing. This is a nice problem to have. And actually, this is where most of us, I feel, are working towards in terms of our businesses. So we want them to grow. We want them to be bigger than they are now, whatever that looks like. So if you think about the 4 areas that I'm speaking about in terms of how to structure your plan, what does preparing for and anticipating growth look like? So if you are a one-person business, and in order to achieve your growth, you need to be a more than one person business, think about and plan for what that looks like. So does that mean drawing on more experts to support your business? Does that mean recruiting people? Does that mean redeploying your existing workforce to work in other areas and take on more responsibility, or upskill them and train them to do something different? Think about that and plan for it. So the way to do that is, if you currently rely on freelancers to support your business, so I do, for example, so I have a virtual assistant who I use, and I have in fact, 3 other telemarketeers who help me run client projects. Now, the way that I anticipate for growth, and as I said, this is a really nice problem to have, is that I involve them in what that looks like. So if I'm putting proposals in, which I hope will all come to fruition, that means that I'm going to need extra resource to support my business. So I scope it out with them and say, I'm proposing this. If it comes off, it will mean this, and this is what that means to you, so that I can check that they have capacity to support my business. And if they don't, well, then it's back to the drawing board and I need to find that resource from elsewhere. So if you already employ people and growth means that they're going to have to step up, step sideways, retrain, then now is the time to think about that. So talk to your freelance community if you rely on them to grow your business. If you are going to need to employ people, start to think about those roles within your business, which will enable you to deliver that growth. Define them, write your job specs, create your adverts, and actually have that ready. There is a lot of discussion around recruiting before you're ready, and that's entirely a personal choice, but actually there is a lot to be said about that. So bring the people in so that when the growth happens, they're ready and to hit the ground running and help you deliver the growth that you need. So growth of services and products. So again, nice problem to have. So if all of a sudden you get more demand for your current products and services than you have the capacity to deliver against, what does that mean? So if you are a product-based business and you suddenly get big orders, brilliant, but that is going to impact your cash flow because obviously you potentially will need to buy in that product before you sell it out. So think about that in terms of the impact that it's going to have on your day-to-day cash within your business. If you suddenly get a big order, so on the flip side of that, if you decide, oh no, I'm not going to buy in more stock, I will clear through what I've already got, but then that wipes out your entire stock. That's also putting you in a slightly risky situation because it means that you're potentially going to let down customers who come through after that. So think about how to fulfill increased orders or increased demand for your products and services. It is going to impact your stock levels if you're a product-based business, your cash flow, again, if you're a product-based business and you need to buy in more stock, and your ability to deliver if you are a service-based business. So what you don't want to do is let down existing customers and deliver to them a less than satisfactory service because you have more demand on your products or services than you do currently. And also there is a practical element here. So if your sales grow and therefore your turnover grows, is that going to tip you over into, let's say, for example, is that going to impact your VAT and that type of thing? So think about that. So if I am anticipating a big order, how do I prepare for that? How do I get the stock in? How do I pay for that stock? How do I get the funds to pay for that stock if I don't already have it? And just think about those type of things. So as I said, growth is a really good thing, and actually it is a nice problem to have, and one that you definitely can anticipate and put some plans in place. So think about that if you grow, the impact that's going to have on your people. Think about the impact that that's going to have on your delivery. So get those things in place now so that when the growth comes, you are ready to step into it and deliver against it. So growth also presents with it certain challenges, and there will be challenges that come up in your business when you're moving towards your ultimate goal. So taking your business from where it is now to where you want it to be. So think about you as a small business owner. So if the onus is on you and you alone, what impact is that going to have on you? So on your time, your mental health, your work-life balance. So we've just had the school holidays, and that doesn't affect me so much anymore because I've got two sort of relatively grown-up children. But a lot of people within my community were struggling a little bit during that 2 weeks of juggling the reality of running a business, looking after children, etc., etc. So if you are if that is you, think about the times of the year when that's going to have the biggest impact on you as the business owner, and put some arrangements in place to minimize the impact that that has on you. So somebody mentioned in the chat about time management. And this is absolutely critical because you need to manage your time so that you are focusing on the tasks that are going to move you closer to your goal and not zap your time and energy and not deliver a return. So time management is really, really important. But think about you, think about the impact that implementing this plan, be realistic, be kind to yourself, have the reality of what is feasible for me to deliver. Also, if you are in your business doing everything, delivering work for clients and all the other things, what is realistic in terms of your time? Another challenge is managing your customer portfolio. So if at the minute you have a collective of clients that you rely on for your regular income coming into your business. What happens if one of them stops working with you? If one of them says, we no longer need the service that you provide, what impact is that going to have on your turnover and your ability to deliver against your goal? So obviously you should never put all of your eggs in one basket, and you should never be over reliant on one client in particular. But the reality is, losing a client or a customer that is of significant importance to your business is going to have an impact. So think about that. Think about what your succession plan is. Think about what your contingency plan is if you were to lose one of your significant customers that's currently within your portfolio. So has anyone had experience of that in terms of losing a customer and how they overcame that, or how they backfilled that, or anything? Oh, literally a month ago. I want to say brilliant, but not brilliant. So Sarah, if you don't mind, in the chat, did you foresee that happening? Was it a surprise? What impact did it have on your business? We've moved into a different area and hopefully that will come off. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Yeah. Yeah, that's Peter. I mean, you are almost, your role exists to help your clients move on. So yes, you are constantly having to refill your pipeline, I should imagine, in terms of backfilling the clients that leave with others that come in. Yes, it was a surprise. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, that is, it's just so true, isn't it? Vicky, thanks for your comments here. Yeah, it really, it's something that I think once you've done it once, or once it's happened to you once, you have to sort of revisit, think about, right, how can I prevent that happening again? The reality is you probably can't prevent it, but the important thing is to think about how can you prepare for that, and what can you dial up in the case of that happening. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's really, Christopher, it sounds like you're within the hospitality space. So yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And this is this is good practice, really, isn't it? This is how it's a goodbye for now, not a goodbye forever. So I suppose with some clients, the door will be left open, but I think it's just foreseeing, and I suppose it's just a watch out for all of us, that we should never become too comfortable and too complacent that the customers that we have now will still be with us, even in 3 months or 6 months time. So what can I dial up, or what can I introduce to fill that gap as and when it should happen? So think about that. Obviously, if you've got contracts in place, that's different. But again, there will be a clause in a lot of contracts that enable people to get out of that, within sort of 4 weeks or whatever that looks like. So just think about what would happen if, and then put some plans in place to offset that, or to mitigate the risk that brings to your business and your ultimate ability to achieve your goal. And then challenges. So I don't know about you, but I've certainly found that business is seasonal. So this year has been pretty weird to sum it up, in terms of in August, I would usually be quiet. August was my busiest month in terms of, new client acquisition. At this time of year, I would probably be sitting here feeling a little bit like, well, I don't know what's happening. Well, I do know what's happening, you know, because I work in the food and drink space. Everyone's got their heads down, focused on Christmas. But last week, I've had 2 new client projects come in, which took me a little bit by surprise, because normally at this time of year, you know, I'd be quiet and actually using this time to nail my plan and set me up for success for the following year. So actually, if your business is seasonal, anticipate that, plan for it. And actually, if you think, oh no, my business is not seasonal, I would encourage you to do a piece of work where you actually just spend, you know, an hour, half an hour plotting your business from January to December, which were the quiet months, which were the busiest months, so that you can again anticipate that that pattern is likely to continue for the following month. So I think that's important, because the quieter months enable you to plan. The busier months are the months that you're going to need to dial up that additional support to help you deliver that growth. We've touched on this already, about the many hats that you need to wear as a small business owner. And I would just say to you that this is something, you know, this is something that you just need to be mindful of, something that you need to manage for yourself. So everyone is different. Everyone has a different capacity in terms of what they can deliver and at what level. But you, as the small business owner driving this ship, will wear many hats. So think again, and we've talked about this earlier on, about really defining your role within your business and trying your best to stick to that. So not getting bogged down with tasks that don't add value, don't drive you closer to your goal. You're going to have to get better at saying no, which is easy for me to say, because I'm an absolute sucker for saying that or not saying that. But anticipate that you, as a small business owner, will wear many hats. So look after yourself, take the breaks that you need to take, invest in you, because actually, if you need to deliver, then you need to be in the best place possible to do that. And think about those around you. So when you have challenges within your business, when your business grows, you know, how does that impact your family, your friends, those closest to you? So, you know, if you are you know, a parent, if you know, even when my business is busy and I need to go out more, you know, I've got to make provisions for somebody to look after my dog, you know, as silly as that sounds. But actually having that support network in place will enable those people to help you deliver what you need to deliver to achieve your goal within your business. So say no more often, prioritize, seek help from your support network, and involve them in what is happening. So what's hot and what's not, which is quite topical today, obviously, but I think it is important to stay in your own lane, think about the trends that are going to impact your business positively, rise to those, you know, embrace those, jump on board with those if that looks like it's going to deliver something of significance to your business. If it isn't, then, you know, move on from that. Don't be absorbed by that. And I think the benefit that we have of small business owners, and this is the image on the far right hand side, is that we are very adaptable, flexible, and fluid to respond to any changes that happen, you know, within technology, within the world around us. And actually, in terms of your business, think about the challenge of growing, what impact that has on your current systems and processes. So are they fit for purpose? Will they enable you to deliver against your growth and achieve your overall your goal? If not, what do you need to do? So if you're going to start employing people, do you need to provide them with some sort of technology to do their roles to the best of their ability? I'm sure they probably do. You know, we all are hearing a lot about the impact that AI is having on business in a very positive way. So incorporate that, embrace that, integrate that into your ways of working. You know, if you need help drafting content, if you need help, you know, getting a shortcut, then use it. It's there to help you deliver to the best of your ability. So in summary, a plan is essentially how you're going to get from where you are now to where you want to be. Now, it's unique and different for everyone. The way that you present it, the goals that you have, the way that you break it down. But hopefully I've given you a flavor for the areas that you need to focus on to actually put some enablers in place to guide you through that process. These are some resources which I hope will help you. So if you are someone who needs to have, you know, a structured template, a structured, you know, a formal written document, which you have as your plan, which you can refer to, which is detailed to the level of detail that you need, there are some resources out there. So Canva has a whole suite of business plan templates. There is something great on HubSpot. So it even has a one-page business plan template, which is really good. Xero has one as well. And then, hey, guess what? There are two AI tools as well that you can use to help you draft your business plan. So there is help out there by way of how to structure it and then how to actually put some meat on the bones. And I've put this in here as well. So Indeed have a really great portal for hiring managers. So if you need to hire, that will guide you through how to write job specs, how to write an advert, that sort of thing. So there are tools and resources out there that you can use to make your life easier so that you can actually build a plan which you can implement. I'll leave you on this. So this is a quote, plans are nothing, but planning is everything. So please, please, please create a plan that works for you, even if it is just something on a piece of paper that is top line, but it's got to work for you. Just because you join the gym doesn't mean you're going to get fit. You have to actually put the planning in place to get you there. So thank you all for your time and attention today. Thank you for contributing and participating in the chat. I'm going to flip back over to the chat in a minute. My favorite place to hang out is LinkedIn. And I had actually at the start of the year set myself an objective of reaching 2,500 followers on LinkedIn by the end of the year, that I was tracking on a monthly basis. And the way that I was going to achieve that was by posting 3 times a week and engaging with my connections content. I had a little moment of celebration because I actually achieved that last week. So in the spirit of celebrating success, I took to LinkedIn to share that. But actually, you know, had I not have put that very clear objective in place at the start of the year, I probably wouldn't have even realized that I'd reached that milestone. And the reason why that's important to me is because that's where I get the majority of my business from. So if I can prioritize in the spirit of time management where I'm going to hang out from a social media perspective so that I can connect with as many of my ideal clients as possible, it's going to be on LinkedIn. So back to the chat. What have we got?
Hello. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. That was such a great session. And I loved your real life example at the end there. It's so important to keep ourselves accountable and be really specific with those goals, as you mentioned.
And actually, you know, we've got to celebrate our own success, haven't we? Because, you know, otherwise, you know, you have to recognize when you're making progress.
Yeah, definitely. Give yourself a pat on the back. So I will dive straight into questions if that's okay. We've had a few come in. So Christopher from Teddy Bear Tea Rooms would like to ask if you have any advice on building up an email address bank of customers rather than on social media.
Yeah, well, honestly, um, it's really, really important. So we were talking about marketing and sales. So sales is my bag really, but actually marketing is very, very closely linked to that, because without the marketing you don't get the sales. And I would absolutely 100% encourage you to create, if you haven't, with an email list, it's really important to have that. So in marketing, and Sherelle touched on this yesterday, we talk about touch points. So being able to connect with your customers in as many places as possible, so that they get to know you, get to know, like, and trust you, and ultimately buy from you. So in terms of an email list, so if you're working in hospitality, which the question was, then how are you going to get customers' email addresses? So what system do you currently have in place that will enable you to capture that? How will you encourage them? So we've got, so I live in Newark in Nottinghamshire. We've got a business opening in the next week that has been closed for 12 months. So it's come under new ownership, and they've been putting out across the socials, sign up to our newsletter to find out what's happening, to gain money off, etc., etc. So really encourage you to think about, what have I currently got in place within my business that will enable me to capture those email addresses? And once you have them, it's a bit like the plan versus planning. You have to actually connect with those people via email. So don't just get their email and leave them alone. You have to actually be speaking to them in the emails as well.
Fabulous. Hope that answers your question there, Christopher. The next question is from Katie, and she asked if you've got any advice if you don't have a predictably quiet period, but you can have some quiet spells, how best would you use that time?
So I think I've spoken about this before. So when you're first starting out in business, the quiet spells are a bit scary, because you start to think, oh my goodness, am I quiet, period, or is this just a quiet spell? And I would encourage you to really map it out. So even if it's just for what is the value of the invoices that I have created this month, get a simple spreadsheet January to December and implement that information so that you can identify them, and so that when it happens again, and if it does happen again, you recognize, well, actually this happened last year, this is clearly a seasonal time within my business. So you don't have that fear factor of, oh goodness, it's all it's all going wrong, and
Yeah.
then you end up taking on the wrong type of business. So really identify your own seasonality. And like I said, I was expecting to be quiet in August, I really wasn't, and that took me by surprise. But plan it out, think about it. The one thing that you can measure really easily is the value of the invoices that you've generated in a particular month, and that will give you a good indication of the seasonality that exists within your business.
Yeah, excellent advice. And also maybe if you do have a quiet spell, maybe just take a day off, enjoy a day. I know we speak to small
Yeah,
business, it's so bad
and
at taking a break.
and actually that the reactiveness, so sorry, the proactiveness of anticipating that that's coming will
Mm,
allow you to take that day off
not
and
feel guilty.
enjoy that day off, rather than thinking, I can't take a day off because I haven't got the business, sort of thing.
Totally. Cool. Question about how and where to kind of store email addresses for newsletters has come in. Once you have an email address, where should it be stored? Is there software that people use to send things out for newsletters and blogs, etc.?
Right, okay. So there are loads, and actually, my advice always is, find one and stick. So back to the 30, 60, 90 days. So pick one, This is an email marketing platform, and obviously Small Business Britain is partnered very closely with Constant Contact. That is one of the options, but pick one, use it. Somebody's put in there that they use Active Campaign. Everyone is different, but just pick one and go with it. And then see how you get on with it. Is it working for you? Is it performing for you? If it isn't, change it, that sort of thing.
Cool. Thank you. Question from Rebecca about eBay, who are encouraging her to post on TikTok, and she's not quite sure how that works. At the moment, she has Instagram and Facebook pages. Do you think posting on TikTok is essential, or what would be your advice?
I'm not a TikToker because it's the one social media platform that I'm really avoiding. So I've Bagsied my handle, but that's about as far as it goes. Because my teenagers told me that if I went on TikTok, they'd leave home. And at the time, I thought, well, that's actually quite a good incentive. But actually, I just thought, if that is where your customers are, if that is an area that presents an opportunity for you, then absolutely. But your time is limited. Focus where you're going to get the biggest return. You can't do everything, you really can't. So if TikTok is going to deliver for you, as in terms of generate sales and generate an income, yes, absolutely, go for it. But if it's just another platform for you to use and for you to spend lots of time creating content for, then don't. But it sounds like this person might be a product-based business, because if it's eBay, it would suggest that they're maybe selling on eBay. I have a business, a food business close to me, and he's absolutely smashing it on TikTok. So he's got over 70,000 followers on TikTok. That is at the moment the primary source of his income. So absolutely, put yourself in places where your customers are, and if it's delivering for you, do more of it.
Yeah, a bit of trial and error, see what works,
Yeah.
and then I go from
I
there.
think it will help, but I want to do it right. Yes, I am an eBay business. Oh gosh, Rebecca, done is better than perfect. I'm sure you've heard that before. Everyone wants to do it right, but nobody starts being perfect. The way to get it right is to keep doing it and practicing. There are lots of, support. I'm sure probably as part of the series, there's somebody talking about, social media. So think about it, think what that looks like for you, and then, give it a try. Take messy action.
One more question here. Is there a criteria that you use to work out whether a goal is kind of realistic or achievable? Or is it gut feel?
So that's the reverse engineering part of it. So if you say so don't limit yourself. Goals are goals. Make them aspirational. If they're not, then I would challenge you to actually, you're probably being a bit too comfortable and a bit too cautious. So set the goal, whatever that looks like, and then reverse it back. So where you are now, so if you're currently turning over £10,000 a year and you want to turn over £100,000 a year, what does that actually look like? So how many customers do you need to get? What do you need to be charging them? How many hours in the day do you need to work to deliver against that? That sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely, your goals should be ever so slightly scary and aspirational. Otherwise, you're not really pushing yourself. But actually, I'm a big fan, because I've got sort of a long background in corporate, and we used to talk a lot about BHAGs, big hairy audacious goals. So a goal so big it scares you, but it's realistic. So I think set goals that are going to push you and motivate you, and that's why you need to be tracking them on a regular basis to make sure that you are working towards them. And if you're not, don't be afraid to revisit them, revise them, reset them. They are your goals. So yeah, go for it.
Fabulous. Excellent. If anyone's got any last questions, do pop them in the chat now, before we wrap up for today. Any final tips or words of wisdom from you, Lisa?
Yeah, and I think my business plan is unique to me, and it's very much around where I want to get to as a business. It doesn't have an executive summary, it doesn't have any of those things. It is very much a practical and actionable plan that will enable me to get from and to. You know, they're the key words: from and to. And I would just say, you know, back to the point around you know, I want to get it right, or taking action. It doesn't have to be a massive document. It has to be something where it can even be a visual, you know, that you put up on your wall and is a daily reminder of where you want to get to. But a plan is unique to you. A plan needs to mean something to you, and a plan needs to motivate you to get up every day and keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, excellent advice. Thank you very, very much for your time today and for a wonderful session. I'm sure there's lots of people who'll be very busy now actioning their plan and hopefully creating some lovely, lovely goals to hit in the year ahead as well. So thank you again for joining everybody today. Remember that if you attend 10 webinars, then we will send you a little gift for Christmas. We have webinars running Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. So it's easy to find us for those. Do keep in touch with the tour. We're all over social media, so have a look at what the tour team are doing there. There's loads going on, and we'd love for you to get involved. Thank you to Lisa again for such a great session, and we will see you all very soon.